One set.
Camera rolling.
Sound.
The good.
The bad.
And the Just Plain Standard. Take one.
Hello, listeners.
Hello.
Hey.
And welcome to a very special episode of The Good, The Bad, and The Just Plain Standard, starring me, Adam.
Anouk.
Me, Jan.
Me again. It's been a successful year for us, I think. Luckily, you've tuned in and listened to us talk about movies that some have come out in this year and some haven't. And one of the things that we haven't really done, ever, is rate movies as good, bad, or just plain standard. As opposed to most of the stuff we've done this year has been very good. So, in doing what every podcast or YouTube channel or whatever thing does, we will do the best of the year. Except ours will be a little different. Usually lists our top 10s or top 5s of worst, bests or whatever. Ours won't be. Ours will be a discussion about films that we saw this year. I have a list of films that came out this year, and I will ask if any of us have seen them. Some that I know we have, and some that we haven't. And at the end of the episode, we'll have a selection from our own personal choice of what we thought was good, what we thought was bad, and what we thought was just plain standard. So we'll see how this goes. As usual, it's an unstructured free-for-all, which we seem to do best in, so we'll give it a go. So, do any films jump straight out at you from this year?
Wonder.
Oh, what a wonder.
I keep thinking about it. I keep going back to it. Like, it was so nice. I mean, I don't know if that's just because it kind of reverberated with me. I think that's the phrase.
Why did it reverberate with you?
Well, because obviously I have a scar, so I know what it's like as a kid to be different, like immediately, and having people very obviously telling you that you're disgusting. Because kids are cruel. Like, they're really cruel. In nursery and primary school, like, really cruel. And they use your weaknesses against you, which is, like, really masterful, actually. And as kids, you don't know how to, like, the way that you deal with that is probably really bad, which is probably why so many people have unresolved trauma. But, yeah, so maybe that's why, because I could kind of see myself in some of those situations. But I also just quite liked how it was basically saying that everyone has issues.
Yeah, there was something in that movie I identified to a lot, which I don't know if it'll make the cut of that episode, about how the sister refers to herself as an only child for quite a few bits. That struck home with me for my own reasons. I don't know if I talked about it on the podcast. We'll see. I might put it in the edit because I think this will come out after Wonder if we get Maddie back.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
We need to schedule.
We'd schedule that and see if we can work that out. If not, it can come out early next year. I'm not too mind, or we could review it. Yeah, what did you think of Wonder?
It's weird because there is always this thingy. So I wanted you guys to see it, right? So I had this aspect like, okay, when I went to see it with you sitting next to me, I was like, okay, will they like it too or something?
Did you feel pressure?
Kind of,
yeah.
And there's one thing I felt twice, well, more on the second time, because I think when we got out, you said you were unsure about how you felt about this movie, right? Or something like that.
I remember sitting in the theatre going, oh no, it's going to be one of these sort of movies. Like, it has that feel to it. Especially the trailer was very like, can have a sycophantic sort of feel to it.
Yeah, indeed. So that's exactly what you said. So the thing is, it made me realize that I had the same kind of feeling. So I saw it, I thought it was great. And the second time I was starting to watch it and I started to feel a bit like it. So I didn't really remember why I liked it the very first time. So I think there must be something weird happening in the beginning that makes us feel like this, because it also happened the first time. I don't know exactly what it is, but I knew there was a big risk that it could be too far into social justice territory.
Mm-hmm.
And it was not. It was just great. And kids are awful between themselves. It was, I'm pretty sure that they can be way, way crueler in real life, but I think it was portrayed as is, I think.
Yeah.
I thought it was very accurate to what school could be like. A little censored, however, I believed it. So it was a Hollywoodized version of something that I believed, as opposed to didn't believe.
Yeah, it wasn't as popcorn as I think it could have been, thank God.
It was
But,
handled with levity, and the subject matter was nice as well. Oh, well, shall we talk about something that we didn't get around to reviewing this year? This is quite a good episode to do that. Like, there'll be films this year that we saw and we're like, we didn't decide to do an episode. Justice League.
Oh.
That's a good one. Yeah, it's probably not worth doing a full episode, so that's actually a good idea to bring that now.
Yeah, good point.
The reason we didn't do that episode, there's a thing with podcasting where when you bring an episode out and where you put it in the schedule is quite important. For example, you'll listen to the Oja episode. If we'd been smart, Oja should have come out. We should have done that way back in September when it came out on Netflix. But it still doesn't matter because, you know, you grow with your listenership and you change. Like in the beginning of this podcast, we did a style that was, we would do a modern and a past and they would relate to each other. You can see that between John Wick and Atomic Blonde, but as it grows its own thing, we just end up talking about movies we want to talk about. And I think Justice League just kind of left us a bit drained, I feel, for sure.
That was a standard film, I think.
The thing is, I did not jump on the bandwagon on those who hated the Martha thingy in the Batman vs Superman. I was, there is a thing that DC is getting darker, and when for Justice League, Joss Whedon came to add jokes and add some stuff. Yeah, it gives a different thing. So I don't hate the whole new DC Man of Steel. I didn't hate, except for one part, Justice League, because the movie feels like it's.
Anouk's pop filter just sort of slipped down.
I swear to God I didn't do anything.
Just tighten it. We'll keep this, it's quite funny.
Pop filters, everyone.
Oh, hip hop filter. Why you fall down now? I'm tired. I'm going to take a nap.
God.
Oh God. Sorry.
Yeah, by the way, you know, right, that James Franco had all the footage that Tommy Wiseau has been recording himself for years, and Greg stole that footage and gave it to James Franco so he could prepare even better for the role.
Oh God, that's so. Oh, I wish that I had a copy of that.
I watched this YouTube video the other day about there's a British actor who's most famous for Horrible Histories, and he's like a character sort of actor. I don't remember his name, but he went over to America pretending to be this guy and wanted to make it in Hollywood, and it's him and Tommy Wiseau hanging out, and it's quite amusing actually. Mm-hmm. I'll recommend that. I'll throw that link out somewhere.
Yeah. So Justice League again. I think the movie, it could have been good, but there is one element which makes it look like it's not finished and makes it like grotesque, as I said once. The mustache thingy is just, guys, come on.
I don't understand why. Why,
Lisa, why?
Well, I understand that they have shooting schedules and stuff, so it was, well, I would say the production of Mission Impossible 6 was quite good on this one. They held their ground for sure, but it just, I think, ruined the whole experience. It probably would have, if they wanted to add the comic element instead of having the Flash cracking jokes, they should have left the mustache.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I agree. I totally agree. It was just nothingy, actually. Like, it was standard. Like, I don't even want to say that it was bad because I don't want to put it in the same bracket as Troll 2 because it wasn't, because it didn't care. I felt like it was just for the fans.
It was kind of not great.
It was just nothingy. There was nothing, like, there's no, as Jan said, there's no point in having an episode over it because I have nothing to say. The only shots that I enjoyed were of Wonder Woman because Gal Gadot is an amazing actress. I think that was the only times that I enjoyed watching with her scenes, personally.
Plenty of butt shots.
Yeah.
Probably.
Oh, yeah. Well,
yeah.
You gotta have some sex.
But like when it's framed, 80% of the frame is just the ass. I don't know.
That's Hollywood for you.
Yeah. Adam, or do you want to next?
For Justice League. I mean, when I was watching Justice League, there was a moment I went, wait a minute, this isn't good. And it's when you see multiple screenwriters, or it was either that or editors on this one. I think I saw 2 editors in the credits. I was like, wait a minute, what?
Too many cooks.
Now, I know that in film it doesn't matter how many editors you have as long as the product at the end is good, but I do feel this film's a bit disjointed. I personally enjoy Jason Momoa as Aquaman. I thought that was quite a fun element to it. But as an overall product, I mean, it just didn't really do anything.
That's clearly a product. Sometimes.
It reminded me in the same veil that, have you seen Batman Returns, the Tim Burton movie with Danny DeVito as the Penguin?
Yeah, that was the second.
The second one, yeah.
Yeah.
No.
Well, what happened was that Happy Meals and McDonald's did a deal early on to be like to get the toys for that movie, and that movie was way too dark for Happy Meals. So what happened in Batman Forever is that they dumbed down the film so they could sell the toys.
Oh, for God's sake!
It's one of the few times, well, not the few times, but it's one of the times that it's become a toy. Toys have majorly influenced. Because it's the 80s and the 90s, like Star Wars figures and stuff like that were huge.
You wouldn't have Transformers started as toys.
Exactly.
That's a good blah, 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 blah.
So that's what happened. Yeah. So that's what happened with that. So again, I don't remember the point I was making.
You made it, so it's fine.
Something like that.
No,
I was talking about dark and then something I don't remember.
Okay. You also have to bear in mind that so in Provence there aren't that many IMAX screens, and I wanted to go there, and I invited my uncle, so it was kind of a 40 euros ticket to go see that.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
That's intense.
I want to talk about a film that let me down this year.
Yep.
Alien Covenant. Alien Covenant really let me down this year.
I didn't see it.
Not a lot of people did see Alien Covenant.
I did.
I mean, well, listeners know how much I love Alien, and I love that series, but Covenant just didn't do anything new. I mean,
was it standard? Where was it on that scale, Adam?
Yeah, it was just plain standard. Because it had great cinematic moments, but I knew what it was going to happen immediately. As soon as they got to the planet, right? As soon as they landed, they got essentially face hugged, but it wasn't face hugged. It was like little viruses that went in the ear.
Oh, yeah, that's in the trailer.
The thing was about Alien Covenant is it wasn't what Alien originally was. You know how in Alien it's a slasher movie in space, and then Alien 2 or Aliens is a war movie. You know, this one's more like an existential crisis between if you're a robot, what it is to be human. So the best bits are with Michael Fassbender playing 2 characters in this film, because he's the android, which itself, they were fun bits, but the stuff with the xenomorphs and the protomorphs, or whatever the fuck they're called now, it wasn't interesting. It jumped the biggest shark when at the end of the film, I said this in the episode, that every Alien movie finishes with the alien being on the ship and being flushed out. They have a whole scene where they knock the alien off this ship, trying to get back to the bigger ship, and then somehow it's on the ship. And it's just, you see it in the trailers, it's the scene where the 2 people are in the showers and then the alien appears. I was like, oh, whatever. It just let me down a lot, and I wasn't. I mean,
what you have to do, though, in those situations is just watch the first one again.
Yeah, and I did, because I did, and it was when we went to New York, Anouk, actually.
Yeah, I remember that.
I watched it on the flight.
I remember that. Because I remember seeing you watch it and thinking, nope.
It was pretty poor, actually.
I don't have that. I don't have anything to add. It clearly turned to the after. What's the Ridley's
Prometheus?
No. It really after Ridley Scott's brother death. It really turned into. I said that in
yeah, you did. Yeah.
Into the existential kind of thingy. So it's no longer the thrilling terror in space kind of stuff.
No.
So
I mean, I can imagine Death in the Family will probably make you turn into existential. As in, have an existential crisis.
Yeah, well, we didn't, and we are not going to do a Justice League episode, but Zack Snyder lost his daughter, committed suicide during the final stages of the shoot, so that's why
Are you kidding?
No, I'm not kidding. That's why Joss Whedon stepped in.
Oh, that's so awful. Oh, I cannot imagine that. I mean, I get it because, so recently a family friend died of cancer, and I didn't know him very well, but so I don't have that kind of personal, grief and all of that stuff. But that was a very short period for me. But you instantly have this like death is a thing. Do you know what I mean? It's like your whole way of looking at life changes like immediately. And death is like something that you start thinking about. And as like, I'm in my early 20s. It's quite a strange thing to suddenly have to. So I totally get how, especially if you kind of personally very, very close to that person. And my sister was much closer to him, so she's gone through even worse a time. But we were both talking about it. Like your whole world view changes. Strange. It's like instant.
Yeah. I was, it was very late in life that I was introduced to death in close human beings. So I talked about the dog, which was quite early. But I think my grandfather on my father's side was 2008. Mm-hmm. And he ended up senile, like he lost his head. And it was always this sharp, reliable guy. And suddenly it was a bit hard. Yeah.
I can imagine.
That's life and death.
Yeah.
Do any of you two have any films that stick out in your mind that you wanted to bring up that we possibly wouldn't have reviewed this year, or we could have reviewed, even though if we'd started to say the podcast had started this time last year, we would have reviewed? Is there any movie that you would have liked to?
I have one which didn't get a general release, so that's Eddie. I talked about it quickly in the Rain Dance episode about it's with Sheila Hancock, the 80-something.
Oh yeah.
Actually going on that mountain.
Well, maybe if it gets a general release, we'll talk about it for sure.
Yeah, in terms of inspiring, that's clearly that's the one.
Anouk?
Not one that jumps out at me, but that's just me. That's just the way my brain works. But so if I had a list in front of me, I'd probably be able to speak about.
Well, what about, I wonder what your opinions was. We saw The Big Sick this year.
Oh, yeah, that was a good film. See, I told you.
I'll look up
The
Big Sick.
The Big Sick. SIC.
By Kumail Nanjiani.
Yeah.
I believe that's how you pronounce it.
So this is a Indian American.
Pakistani born.
He's
Pakistani born comedian.
Pakistani born.
Yeah. Pakistani born comedian Kumail Nanjiani.
No, but I mean in the film.
It's based on it's a dramatized version of his life.
Yeah, so how he meets his wife, basically, who is a white American girl.
Canadian, I think.
Canadian.
I think it's in Canada.
I'm just getting everything wrong. But anyway, it's just kind of the differences between families and what they, value. And his mom wants him to get an arranged marriage, and he's kind of falling in love with this girl, which actually is really similar to that TV film that we saw. The boy with the top knot, is it? Top.
Yeah, the boy with the top knot.
Turban, something.
It was a BBC produced, with the actor that was in Trainspotting 2, and actually Paul would have known him because he's in multiple of Paul's films. He's the counsellor in Isolani.
Oh yeah, Ata Yaqub.
Yeah, he's the lead in this BBC. It was great.
Really, really good.
Really good.
Strong actor.
Really good.
Oh, there is a rom-com, local Glaswegian one where is the lead. The title is extracted from a Rabbie Burns poem. Yeah, Ata Yaqub, yeah. Mm.
Oh, wow, nice.
The budget of The Big Sick, by the way, was $5 million, and it's made $44 million worldwide as of August.
Nice.
Which is unbelievable.
Mm. It was very good.
The thing is with films as well is that some of them sit with you and some of them just go away in the background. But if you ever saw them again, you're like, oh yeah, I remember this being really good.
Yeah.
So there are films that are out and will be around forever, and there are films that will disappear, but I'm sure that even the ones that disappear that come back later on.
Actually,
amazing.
that film resonated with. I said reverberated before. I meant resonated, not reverberated. That film resonated with me as well because I understand what that feels like, and I don't come from a very strict family. So it's not like, my dad wanted me to go for an arranged marriage and I'm only allowed to marry a Pakistani boy. Like, that's silly. That's not my family, but there are differences. So even I'm not saying that me and Adam have problems, but
Don't say it on the podcast.
There are massive like family differences between our families. So I understand that. So if anyone, is with someone that isn't from the same place as they are, like, it's actually quite a good film to go to.
Oh, okay.
It was a very nice film. Yeah, and what did you think of The Mummy?
I'm always trying to find the good in things. So I'm a massive Egypt geek. So obviously it was okay with me. So I also enjoyed thoroughly The Gods of Egypt, although it was, universally panned as terrible. I enjoyed The Mummy. The Mummy, I enjoyed it because I was watching it doing some other stuff.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. But watching it in theaters with a critical eye, I probably would have walked out.
Walked out?
Probably.
Okay.
No, but I liked, it's spoilery, but I always liked the fact that the bad guy supposedly wins in the end, or is not dead, and is going someplace else. So I thought that was a nice touch.
Yeah.
It won't kickstart their dark universe. I don't think it's not boding well for them. But I think it was okay for me.
I didn't see it either. Because I've never been a massive fan of the films, the franchise or whatever it is.
Yeah, well, this one is supposedly more darker than the Brendan Fraser humorous kind of. So that's probably when you're going too dark. I think we should have a segment like, it was. I just talked about this one, but do you guys have movies that were released this year that were universally panned by audience and critics as terrible, and you still think were great, that you enjoyed?
Oh, I haven't thought about it. I've kind of forgotten all the films that I've seen this year.
I'm currently looking at the list of the worst films this year. Annie, did you watch Going in Style or Going to New York with Morgan Freeman and...
Yes, I did. Did people not like it?
It's number 23 of the worst films, apparently, this year.
I really enjoyed it. Oh, there's one.
Yeah, there's also the mood aspect that you won't hear about until February with a poll episode. But yeah, you depending on your mood, if you just had I don't know, it's just an example, a bad breakup, and you're going to watch romantic comedies, and you see people kissing in the street, and you're not in the right mood to go see that kind of stuff.
Yeah, but then when you're in love, you don't mind watching people. Well, not in a disgusting way. No. I was just about to say I don't mind watching people kiss, but not in like a weird way. I'm not a voyeur, but
anyway, because in Jumanji that I just went to see as the advanced screening, so they are adults, but it's they're teenagers in the body of adults. So there's one point you've got the guy, so The Rock and Karen Gillan who are doing this kissing scene, which looks horrendously like there's a tongue going on the nose, and so it's just they've never kissed before, those two teenagers.
Of course.
So as adults, they have to do these silly. Oh, gee.
Yeah, that's interesting.
I'm not sure if I like that idea. I'm guessing it doesn't work. It looks stupid.
It looks weird. That's intended, but yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, you can enjoy that, but that sounds like it wouldn't work. But I really like Karen Gillan.
Yeah, she's good.
Yeah.
And her American accent doesn't seem so bad.
No, she's when she decided to stop partying and stop dating also and focus on her career, moving to LA. Yeah, she's doing great, and she's great. Yeah,
good.
What did you think of the new Pirates of the Caribbean movie this year, then, Nick? You saw that on the flight to New York.
Jesus Christ, that was terrible. That was unbelievable. And I was on the plane, so I was already kind of, when you just. On long plane rides, I don't really want to watch something that's really intellectual, cerebral. So I watched like Going in Style. What's it called?
Going in Style.
Going in Style, which was really good. And then I saw the Pirates of the Caribbean. I stopped watching it after 10 minutes. 10 minutes, I actually would have walked out of the cinema. It was so bad. And it was also like obnoxious. Because it was very, I'm going to probably offend so many people, but it was very, American. Like, it was like very obnoxiously American, bad humor.
Yeah, okay.
Which
No, I know what you mean, though.
me being British is like the worst thing that could ever happen to me. Like, you know, Johnny Depp making his stupid shocked faces into the camera and like literally being on top of a house and the house is somehow moving because it fell on top of a roller skates or and it's like, are you kidding me? Like, what is this? It was just shocking. I just don't know how this was made. Probably because they thought that, you know, they can make money. Yay.
Yeah, and it's part of a franchise. Ooh.
Yeah, franchise.
So I'll wrap it in. So now we'll now go to the main segment of what most top 10 lists are.
Wrap it up.
I want you guys to think very long and hard and pick a couple of films that you would put in the good category, the bad category, and the just plain standard category. We don't have to talk about the film. We can if you want to, if we'd all seen it. But maybe the ones that are good, we might do an episode in the future. The ones that were bad, maybe. The ones that are good, we'll see.
Okay.
If you guys need time to think, I'll do mine, because I have a rough idea.
I think I have a rough idea.
So in my good category, I'm going to limit it to 3. I'm going to put T2, Trainspotting, which I adored. I thought was incredible and moving and really heartfelt, which I believe we're covering in January. Are we doing C2 in January?
We could do a double feat. Yeah, we could do T1, T2.
We'll do T2 because I really enjoyed that film, and it came out early. It was the first film I saw this year, actually. I think. I'm gonna also put in. Oh no, that didn't come out this year. I can't put that in. I was going to say the Supersonic documentary, about Oasis, but it came out in 2016, so that's not this year. I'm going to put The Beguiled in because without The Beguiled, we don't have this podcast. It was also a very good movie, actually. It was a movie I did not think I was going to enjoy because it was very much I've got to be really careful how I word this. It's very much in the same vein of Jane Austen sort of style. So you know that it plays more to older females. Mm-hmm. Do you know what I mean? That I'm not saying it's. I used to have a phrase which offended Anouk about films like that, which I don't say anymore. So I won't say it now because I'll offend everyone.
It doesn't. I was being overly sensitive. It's not that bad.
It's a woman's film, but it's not really
chick flick.
Not even a chick flick. Kind of, maybe. It was a lot of like fawning over Colin Firth. Firth, yeah, Colin Firth, that's it. And
okay,
one more for good. I'm really torn, but there's been so many good ones. This isn't a retrospective of what I think the best of the year is. It's just the ones that stick in my head the most that I think about. Paddington 2.
Oh, Paddington 2 is great.
And it, you know, to be fair, we don't have to cover the ones we did in the podcast because we already know how we feel. Because I mean, to put Baby Driver, you know, all these great films that came out this year.
Oh, there were so many.
But those are my 3 for good.
Okay.
For bad, Alien Covenant. Oh no, I said that was just plain standard. No, you know what? It's bad. It's a bad film.
Okay.
Because there are some good things in it, but it's bad. It's not totally useless, but it's pretty bad. What else came out this year that was pretty garbage that I saw? Hitman's Bodyguard.
You walked out of that one, didn't you?
I walked out of Hitman's Bodyguard. It was appalling. Absolutely appalling.
I think it says something about a film if you walk out. Like, that's bad. That's another level.
And my just plain standards are The Emoji Movie, Justice League. What do I want to put else? There might be one more I'm thinking of. Oh, I've got one. I've got one that's just plain standard, and it's bad. It is. It's shocking.
God.
It's a documentary called 50 Years Ago Today about the Beatles on Netflix, and it's just so dull and tedious. It's like the worst example of a documentary. It's just so odd and not good. So that as well.
Shame.
So there are my section beliefs.
Okay. Jan, you can go.
Yeah, so when I am always asked what my favorite movie is, I always go by, well, I can't answer this question, so I go by years, right? So I like this on that year and stuff. So I would say for 2017, probably what I really felt strongly about was probably, so in the good, Wonder.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
I'll just have one in each.
Good idea. I was struggling with it. I should have said one.
In the bad, it's on Netflix. It's not, but still, it's this year, so I don't know if it's. But well,
Doesn't count. It's a film.
The Jim and Andy, because it's not advertised as a documentary on mental illness.
Is it? Yeah.
It's advertised as an actor getting into the character, which is just delusioning himself into like. From the very start, he says. I was just, the character came alive and I just wasn't in control anymore. Yeah, of course you were. It was you. Anyway.
It was silly, and it actually showed Jim Carrey as very, very mad.
We can talk about that one day, I think.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that one day.
And, so that was the
bad.
The bad, yeah. Plain standard, I'm usually, I'm watching trailers sometimes, not all the time, but I'm also reading before I go. So when I go see something, I have sometimes an idea. So I usually kind of doing that, avoid bad and plain standard. But I think Justice League, yeah, just like you said, it's either in the very bad category or just maybe more plain standard because of that many things, and including that mustache thingy, which yeah.
I'm quickly going to revise because I forgot. So Paddington 2, T2, and Dunkirk. I forgot about Dunkirk. Dunkirk was a fantastic film this year, which there will be an episode next year about Dunkirk for sure.
Yeah, it just came back. Did I?
It's at IMAX. I might go and see it again. It's that good if I get the chance.
Yeah. I was a bit tough on this one because I just didn't understand what it was trying to achieve. But it was.
When it gets a DVD release, we're going to talk about it because it's bloody good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I had the chance to go see it at the Edinburgh Film Art House. It's called Film Art House or something. Film House, yeah. And they had a 70 millimeter print there.
Wow.
But as sometimes happens, just like the room tickets, I booked something and I didn't realize it was in October, and I started to wonder about going to see it when it was November. So I have my tickets. Oh, wow, that was last month. Oh, okay. Well, so, yeah. So I just saw it standard. Because apparently the best way to see it is in 70 mil. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Anik?
Yes. Okay. Good. For me, Wonder, because I keep thinking about it and talking about it. It spoke to me. For three reasons. One, because I was an angry and bitter teenager who did stupid things, like hang out with the cool kids for no reason. And two, because I have a scar and I know what it's like. Obviously, he had it tough because it was his face and that's much harder to hide. But growing up with a scar is tough, like really, really tough. Yeah, I also just quite like the fact that they spoke about the parents. Like quite a lot of kids have these, they're bullies and they're horrible, and actually it's because they hear things at home, and sometimes the parents are as bad. And it's just that adults are a lot better at hiding it, but quite a lot of adults are as bad as children. And you will hear that, and I think someone with a scar or a disfigurement will know this more than other people probably, and maybe mental health, but I'm not sure, because you hear a lot of stupid things, like stupid questions or people being rude or people staring and not being able to ask, all this stuff. Anyway, standard. I think the Emoji Movie, because as soon as I left the theaters, I forgot about it. And I think that's like something you should get an award for. Like, that's terrible. Like, I don't even want to talk about it because it was just like, okay, whatever. Bad. Now I want to see Pirates of the Caribbean because it made me angry. Because I found it insulting. It was like, do you actually think that your audiences are that stupid? And like, that not all of them are children. Actually, I feel like most people that go to see Pirates of the Caribbean aren't going to be children. So why are you making scenes that are just not realistic? It just angered me. And because I feel that anger, I think it's bad and not just plain standard. So that's my 3.
That's actually a very good point, because the Andy G-Man thingy, it's bad in the sense that I meant for this one, is that I don't understand why they made this documentary. It shouldn't exist. Mm-hmm. I don't get it.
I do know what you mean, because I
Yeah,
was watching it and
right.
I was enjoying it, but not because of their vision and I understand the story. It was just kind of like, the beginning, it was like a little bit obnoxious, but in a fun way. Like, what is he doing? This is crazy. And then it was just the same thing over and over again. Like each scene, him just being this bastard. And it was like also us being actors and like writing and editing and podcasting and stuff. Like we know how hard it is to like be on set. Why is this comedian / actor making it worse for everyone around him just because he wants to be a method actor? I just think that is the silliest thing. Making other people's jobs harder because I don't know what Jim Carrey was trying to sell. I agree completely. Anyway.
So there we go. Those were a few films that we thought were good, bad, and just plain standard this year. Sporadic episode, but nice. Just nice to have a chat.
Yeah.
About what we thought about this year.
Well, we just chatted for 40 minutes, so no?
Nice.
Yeah, whatever. People, if any of you listeners have films that you thought were just plain standard or good or Jesus, to go again. If you listener have any films that you thought were good, bad, or just plain standard, let us know. Send us some photos on Instagram of the poster or whatever. Get in contact any way you want, and maybe we'll do a feature episode on it, and we'll give you a shout out because you made us think like, yeah, let's review that.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
So I've got a question for you, Anouk, and for you, Jan. Anouk, Jan, was 2017 good, bad, or just plain standard? Anouk?
As in regarding films or regarding like my life?
Yeah, I was about to ask the same thing. Yeah.
Well, we know 2017 was good because we've got this. Let's go film in general. Was film good this year? Bad or just plain standard?
Well, because of this podcast and because this is the first year that I've been like professionally working in the industry, I've been seeing more films. So I don't know if I can put it against the other years because I've never had a year like this. It's like the first time that I've been trying things out, and I've been going to the cinema like maybe twice a week sometimes. And that's like a lot for me.
Fair play. I'll retract that statement and I'll ask I'll ask it next year.
Yeah, maybe better. But I've seen some amazing films though this year.
Me too.
So actually, I'll say it was good. It was good. It was a good year.
So it leaves us just to say thanks to the listeners for keeping us going, you know?
Yeah.
Without you guys, we wouldn't be putting episodes out, and therefore we wouldn't be seeing a lot of movies, so
Yeah, because
thank you for listening.
We have the card, but we could just like go just to see those 2 movies that we're to get even, but we actually go quite often. Like I think it was 2 days ago, or yesterday I went to see. So I went to see Blade of the Immortal, and right after that was The Room. And
Yes.
Blade of the Immortal is 2 hours and 30 minutes of black and white blade, blood shedding and everything.
Oh,
Wow.
Yeah. It's yeah.
So we'll see you in 2018, listeners.
We will.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.